Hello students, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, that's Akifa's Commerce Classes. So in today's session we'll study about the reissue of forfeited shares. In my previous video I discussed about forfeiture of shares, wherein I explained that how we are supposed to record the entries in case of forfeiture. So this is the last step, that is reissue of forfeited shares. So let's learn what do you mean by reissue of forfeited shares and how you are supposed to record them. So before we move on to the pro forma entries, it is important that we know the meaning of reissue. Okay. So first of all, we know that the shares are forfeited because only a part of the due amount of such share is received and the balance is unpaid. So on forfeiture, the membership of the original allottee is cancelled. So he or she cannot be asked to make payment of the remaining amount, and the shares then become a property of the company. Okay, because the shareholder has not paid money even after subsequently reminding him to pay the amount. So once the forfeiture is done, it belongs to the company now. Therefore, the company may sell these shares, and the sale of such shares is known as the reissue of shares. Alright. Thus, reissue of share means issuing of the forfeited shares. So once the board of directors, they have forfeited the shares, the defaulting shareholder is asked to return the share certificate, which is then cancelled. So the board of directors then passes a resolution allotting the forfeited shares to a new partner, to a new purchaser. Okay. So in case of reissue of shares, a prospectus is not issued. You have to remember that what we usually do is that first time we give a prospectus, we issue a prospectus to the general public inviting or giving invitation to the public to subscribe to the shares of our company. But in case of reissue of shares, we do not issue a prospectus. Alright. So the board of directors of the company, what they will do is while reissuing the shares, they decide the price of the reissue. Now this shares can be reissued at maybe par, premium, or maybe at discount. But generally these shares are reissued at a discount. That is at a price which is less than the nominal value. Okay. The amount of discount allowed at the time of reissue, in no case it should be more than the amount forfeited on the shares. Alright. It means the amount of discount allowed at the time of reissue should not be more than the amount which was forfeited on such shares. So in simple words, reissue of forfeited shares, it means that one shareholder did not pay the so and so amount. So what we did, we cancelled his shares. So we cancelled or forfeited his shares, then we reissued it to somebody else. Alright. This is reissue of forfeited shares. So moving on to our pro forma entries. First is if the shares are issued at par. As I said earlier, it can be reissued at par, premium, or discount. So if it is reissued at par, it will be recorded as bank account debit to share capital account. Narration is being share reissued at par. Second, when the forfeited shares are reissued at premium. So bank account debit to share capital account to security premium account. Narration is being share reissued at premium. Third is when the shares are reissued at discount. Bank account debit, share forfeiture account debit to share capital. Narration is being shares reissued at discount. And the last entry, this is the most important entry. Profit on reissue of forfeited shares transferred to the capital reserve account. So any sum in which you have reissue entry, this is the last entry with which you have to finish off your sum. Okay. This will be the last entry that you have to record. That is, you have to transfer the reissued forfeited shares to the capital reserve account. So this is share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account. And the narration is being profit on forfeited shares transferred to capital reserve account. Alright. So let's start with our first problem on reissue of shares. The question says that Manish Limited forfeited 2000 shares of rupees 100 each due to non-payment of the first and the second call of rupees 40 per share. This share were then reissued at rupees 90 each as fully paid. Pass the necessary journal entries. Alright. So let's start with our first entry. Share capital account debit to calls in areas account to share forfeiture account. So this is the forfeiture entry. First, what we need to do is start with share capital. Alright. Here we can see that the share capital is 2000. Alright. And shares of rupees 100 each. So what you have to do is 2000 multiplied by 100. You will get it as 2 lakhs. Alright. Then you have to see that rupees 40 was not paid. Rupees 40 was not paid on 2000. So this is our calls in areas. Okay, 2000 were not paid, right? Why? How do you know it's not paid? Because it is cancelled. It's cancelled. It means it was not paid. That's why it's forfeited. So 40 into 2000. So 2000 into 40 will give you 80,000. Done. So then how you get this amount? That is debit minus credit. Alright. So 20,000 minus 80,000 will give you 1,20,000. I hope this is clear. I'll repeat again, starting with share capital. How I got this? Forfeited shares were 2,000 multiplied by 100, 2 lakhs. Then come to calls in areas. How many shares we did not receive? 2,000 shares. Alright. And the rate is how much? 40. 2,000 into 40 will give you 80. So 2 lakhs minus 80, that is debit minus credit, will be 1,20,000. Alright. And the narration is being 2,000 shares forfeited due to non-payment of final call at rupees 40. So let's start with our second entry, that is bank account debit, share forfeiture account debit to share capital account. Let's start with bank account. So bank account, what you will see is that, first of all, why did I take this particular entry? Because when you see that the face value is rupees 100 and it was reissued at rupees 90, it means it was issued at lesser amount as compared to the face value. So it is issued at discount. So therefore you have to take this entry. Okay. In the beginning of the video, I gave you all 3 instances wherein the forfeited amount is reissued at par, premium or discount. So as in this example, we can see it is reissued at discount. Therefore you take this entry. So start with bank account. One share is rupees 90. We have total 2,000 shares. 2,000 into 90 will give you 1,80,000. Alright. After you do so, you can see that we have share capital here. We have share capital here. So this same amount, 2 lakh, you can just take it here. Alright. 2 lakhs and 2 lakhs. So how did I get this 20,000? 2 lakhs minus 1,80,000. The difference is 20,000. Okay. So the narration is being 2,000 shares forfeited at rupees 90 each. So this is how you have to solve the sum. And the last entry is about transferring the profit to the capital reserve account. So share forfeiture account debit to share capital reserve account. So how did I get this amount? What you have to do is just see that here you have share forfeiture account. Just mark it. Even in this you have share forfeiture account. Alright. So here you can see the amount of share forfeiture is 1,20,000. Here you can see the amount is 20. So 1,20,000 minus 20 will give you 1 lakh. So how did I get this? 1,20,000 minus 20,000. It will give you 1 lakh. What you have to do is just the share forfeiture. You have 1,20,000. Then here also you have share forfeiture. You have 20. This is 1,20,000 minus 20. You get it as 1 lakh. So the narration is being profit on forfeited share transferred to capital reserve account. See, this is one of the easiest way or easiest method to calculate the profit. Okay, so there may be other ways or there are other calculations which are involved, but in order to save a time in the examinations, it is important that you use these shortcuts so that you can get the answer in a much easier way and at a less amount of time. Alright, so I hope you understood this sum. Always remember that the first entry, share capital, you get this amount by multiplying 2,000 into 100. Then you have calls in areas, you get this amount by multiplying 2,000 into the rate, that is 80. Then by subtracting this 2, you get this amount, 1,20,000. Moving on to the second one, why I took this journal entry, it is because here it was mentioned that it is issued at discount. It is not mentioned, but it is understood because earlier it was rupees 100. Now we reissued it at rupees 90. It means 10 rupees less. So it is discount again. Alright. Or else what you can do is this amount you can also get it by 100 minus 90 is 10. So 2,000 into 10 will give you 20. Or what you can do is just at 1,80,000, then this share capital amount, just write it here again. Subtract the 2, you will get 20,000 again. Okay. And the last entry, what you can do is, see share forfeiture account, just mark it, subtract the first amount with the second. So after I finished recording all the entries, what I have done is I have totaled both the sides, that is debit as well as credit. I got it as 5 lakhs on the debit and the credit side. So this is how you are supposed to solve a problem on reissue of journal entries. So now I have finished with the entire chapter on share capital. I have solved the entire chapter into different parts so that you all can understand it in a more easier way. If I would just club everything in 1 or 2 videos, then it also becomes very lengthy and plus it becomes very boring for a student to watch the entire video as it becomes very lengthy. So what happens is sometimes you may have difficulty in a particular part. For example, you may have problem on solving security premium account or maybe calls in areas account. Therefore, what I have done is I have made separate videos on that so that you can only watch those videos which you have a difficulty in. Alright. so you all can watch those videos in which you all have difficulties. Also, if you all want to learn the entire chapter, then again I will say that please study it according to the sequence, because if you study the last part, that is reissue, as the first part and then the subsequent ones, then it will be very difficult for you all to understand. So it is very important that you start it from the beginning. You first start with the meaning of shares, what are the different types of share capitals, then you study the pro forma journal entries, then you study about when the shares are issued at, when there is over subscription, when there is under subscription, when the shares are issued at premium or discount, then there comes calls in arrears, calls in advance, forfeiture, reissue, and so on. You study it in this sequence, only then it will be easier for you all to understand. Alright, so students, according to my personal experience, what I can say is that I have found that many of the students find it very difficult when it comes to this chapter. Therefore, I have given my level best in order to explain this chapter in the simplest manner as I can. Therefore, I divided the entire chapter into different parts so that you all can see the different parts accordingly and then understand. However, if there are still any queries or any questions from your side, you all are welcome. Please put it down in the comment section so that I can answer to all your queries. Also, if you liked my series on share capital, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.